Thanks for joining us. Papa Yo is not with us this morning. We are assuming that he is preparing to be back out this evening on the avenue. Speaking of which, I need to call Papa Yo because I need to borrow your camera. Papa Yo, if you're listening, I need to borrow your camera this weekend, please. Thank you. I'm not quite sure what we're talking about. I think from the off-air conversation, it has something to do with an interview that was trending this week. Something to do with some...
Maria bust my face.
She take all the coffee.
No. The ground wet, so I want to fall down for spite. To sue.
Oh, do you have that?
Between them, I imagine somebody else here.
Oh, do you have that? Like if you fall down in the building, you have things to get?
Somebody between Dash and her boss, somebody has to give me a bread. Because I was calmly heading to the kitchen.
Were you really calmly?
Yep. Slip, fall, break my hand. Somebody has to pay.
Okay. All right. So what was the interview about again? I was trying to remember the context of the interview. What was it talking about?
The interview was open, but that was one particular question that was asked.
All right, so frame it up then. Go through that.
For those of you, Nico Williams, I think is her name. She's an author. There was an interview that was trending on the social media space for the past week. A question was placed to her: would you date a bus driver or go out with a bus driver?
Specifically.
Well, they use bus driver.
PTSD, okay.
Right? PTSD. And her response was, if they own the bus. So a lot of people was appalled in the comments and
they
so on.
They were in their feelings.
But it sparked a very nice conversation about what is expected in the space of man and woman in the now.
Okay.
Right? If we're being honest, our grandparents, our old great aunts and so on, they...
From the time you start and so on, I start to get very, very worried. From the time you take that tone, as we like, okay, where is he going with this?
Our great aunts and so on. You understand? They would have been... Can't talk till you're tall in here. When you all take things seriously? When? Just tell me the Friday that we could come here and speak things and it's serious and it don't end up like this.
Never.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that they would have gone out with what we consider the average Joe. Hardworking Joe. For want of a better word, Joe is that guy.
Joe Blue Collar.
I never said Nicole. Somebody said I said Nicole. I didn't say Nicole. I said Iniko. I made a mistake.
Iniko is her name. What is her name?
It's not Iniko. Her name is Ebony K. Williams.
Ebony K. Williams.
Yeah.
How you get Iniko from Ebony?
I have no idea. But I didn't say Nicole. I know I didn't say Nicole. But yeah.
Ebony Iniko. Wow.
Oh, this doesn't matter at this point.
Okay, fine. Carry on.
So
right. Average Joe Blue Collar, granny,
yeah, Joe Blue
great
Collar.
aunt.
You understand a guy that's, is open to family, to love, to being a provider, a protector. Just being that guy. Just that guy. And over the years, we have seen that has morphed into what is now expected because a lot of people live in the world of expectation. Where your perfect guy or gal has to look and be a particular way. So there is a generation of people who believe that their daughters should be with ball players or rappers or moguls and stuff of some sort. So the question is...
Long time it just used to be doctor and liar. Remember? Good times?
that too was a thing.
Doctor and liar.
You wanted your daughter to be with a doctor or a lawyer.
Or you wanted your daughter or your son to be a doctor or a lawyer.
Or with government.
Yes, because I mean in the earlys it was short pension and benefits and vacation and thing.
The dollar still short, but it's short.
Yeah, it's a short.
It's a short dollar.
It's not stretching as far. The dollar is not as elastic.
It's short. It's a short. It's a short dollar.
A short dollar.
Yeah,
short
that's
dollar.
what it is.
Right.
So now the conversation has changed over the years, and now we're in a space of, how do you feel about that? Like, is it that is necessary? Is
job spec is part of the prerequisite?
Yeah, or is it the days of just genuine love not a thing anymore? Does no one just see someone, knock them in through traffic and stumble upon them and look into their eyes in a glaze and say, hey, what's your name? Hi, my name is Bob.
Even if you were broke, my
name is Janet. And you fall in love. Those days are gone. As Abby said, it's the prerequisite to go out with someone
Even if you were
based
broke,
on your bottom line.
my love don't cost
Should
a
I bring
thing.
forth an Excel spreadsheet about projections leading forth for the next 2 years in order to have your hand? I'm
Get the
asking.
next one in the corner about, what you mean at?
I'm asking, is it now a requirement that I have somebody I employ,
You have to have your things.
an accountant?
You have to have your things.
Like if I am applying for a business loan, should I show projections for 2024, 25? You understand? Should I list all assets in order?
We're not falling in love with potential.
So that's the question. Is potential now out the door? Is genuine love out the door? And now it's just based upon what I can gain in the presence of this individual. And it's both man and woman. No, because that's some man too, eh? It's also man who in their day-to-day,
No, I don't want no scrubs.
they just want to be in the presence of women who are well put together.
Hanging on the passenger side of best friend ride, trying to hide
So, yeah.
me.
We're not framing it as bus driver, but is it a prerequisite now to have a spreadsheet, an Excel spreadsheet? Projections.
Assets, expenditure, debts.
All right, let's jump into it immediately. Oh, can you send the gentleman's info for the workshop tomorrow? Oh yeah, I will try and see if I could put it in the
You
group.
could blast it.
I will blast it out, right, guys? But it's happening tomorrow at Faculty of Medical Sciences.
Amphitheater.
Yeah, which is on the left behind T and Tech for those of you who know St. Joseph.
Right.
By Mount Up there. All right.
Let's
Jump
go.
in.
Jaiga, I do like how you're framing this because a woman or a man could genuinely love somebody that is financially stable. The two things could be possible. Okay, and with respect to that interview with Ian and Ebony, I saw it. I understand what Ian is saying, but I also don't disagree with Ebony. I mean, she's a millionaire, she's a New York socialite. In what world would she? What's the odds of she meeting a bus driver? It's very slim, so she's not gonna date a bus driver. What's wrong with that?
True. Nothing is wrong with that. Nothing is wrong. But you have to understand when you're on certain platforms, like how we are right now, you have to be careful with how you frame things. Just as how you can tell me what I'm framing it, I have to respect that and understand that because the framing,
How did she frame it?
blatant like that. Are you going to date a bus driver if you own the bus?
Do we have a clip?
Yeah, there's so much clips out there. I'll have to look for one. Yeah, but
If anybody have a clip.
she did a lot of rebuttals after. Not rebuttals, but she had a lot of answering
I did
after.
see one article where, like, I knew it was happening. I didn't pay it any attention, but I saw an article where Shade Room, because good old Shade Room, said she doubled down. That's how they framed.
Yeah,
That's how they
she
framed
did.
it. That
She
she
did.
doubled
She
down
did.
on what she originally said.
She did.
So
She did.
sis
And-
said it with her chest.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I respect that. I respect people who stand in their conviction. She said, listen, I ain't not doing that.
PTSD is not for me. That's what
And
she
it's not
said.
for me, and I'm saying it loud. And you have to respect that. Again, that's when the saying that I always say, know your beast. Like I always encourage men, if you know you could only afford Mobe, please stay away.
Mobe.
Yeah, Mobe. Please stay away from the Moet line. Why are you going in a line that you cannot afford? There are times that we all, as human beings, not man, I'm not saying it's a man and woman, at the time as human beings where we sometimes get clouded, where we smell ourselves, where you believe that, yeah, I could get that. That could be me. It can. Maybe it can.
But is it you right now?
But oh God, you see why I love her? You see why I love her? When she's dressed fabulous in her purples and beige and on. You understand? And her eyebrows are marked to the gods. You see why I like her? Sometimes it's about time. And human beings, here I saying it straight, I don't want to wait to say I talk about man, I talk about woman. Human beings need to understand that. When you are aware of that, it helps a lot. You could go down the road, but somewhere driving down that road, you have to pull aside, slow down, and ask, no, is a good time to do this?
Is this making sense?
Is this making sense right now?
Yeah, self-awareness.
Self-awareness is very important. And I know sometimes we end up, when we start to be aware of it and have the conversation with the person on the other side, it might not go
But let me ask you a question.
how you want it to go.
Why do you think there are some people? Why do you
Words
think?
and framing. Words and
Why do
framing.
you
Very
think
important.
that human beings seem to be predisposed to hanging their hands where their hats can't reach?
Because of
Talk
the
to
things
me.
the things that are stuffed in our faces.
How? Why?
Like, for instance, if we're using the US media for one, right? Make you believe that it's the American dream. It's attainable. It can be. This could be you. Maybe it can. Just not today.
And why do you think? On what systems are those
Oh gosh,
images built on?
Let's keep the capitalistic people out of the thing, the capitalist system away for today, now, just for today. Let us keep it away today. Just today, Abby. All right? For the one, let's keep it away today. Right? Let's not talk about them today. About the colonizers, let's give them a rest. Just today. We'll come back to them on Monday.
As the king is getting ready to be sworn in.
Yeah, we'll come back to
Okay.
them on Monday.
So we're going to pretend we're going to have this conversation and leave out the thing that frames the entire thing in the first place.
God,
Okay, carry on.
Jessica Jackson.
Let's talk about what you want to talk about. Go ahead.
Wow. No. Don't do me that. Don't do me that. I'm not trying to mansplain. I'm not trying to. No, that is not it. We are here. This is balance. We are on a seesaw. If I push too hard, you're going to flap in the air. Let us balance the seesaw. Okay, Ray? Let us balance it.
If I push too hard.
If
over-
I push you, you're going to fly in the air. So I wanted balance.
Okay.
I am not, right now, we're not equally yoked in this moment. Because you are beat to the gods, you are looking like you ready for Ebony front cover. And right now, how I looking, means I'm good for the Express. So, in this moment, we are not equally yoked. But please, I beg of you, can you please, in this moment, allow yourself not to come down, but to at least let's play on a level playing field, okay? Let's play a couple notes.
There is nothing wrong with what she said. It's the manner and the tone in which she said it
Okay.
came across like she was looking down on the profession.
Oh, okay.
That's what a
gotcha.
lot of people said
Was
as
the
well.
tone up for interpretation?
It's up for interpretation.
Okay.
And when they said she doubled down, it's because she came back to say, I said what I said. And
I
I am
did not
not.
stammer.
And she said, I am not in the business of making people feel good.
Oh, do? That's what she said?
Yep. So
Ebony?
other people were like, but you have to understand the people who buy your
She
books.
planned.
And
That's what now was you planning to write any more books, man?
That's what I was trying to tell her. And she said, I'm not in the business of making you feel good. I speak truth and I speak my truth.
So who is your demographic to buy a book, sis?
That was the next question that
But you
came.
cutting
And
off your
that's
nose
where-
to spoil
that
your
is
face?
where that is where, but she said no.
Good morning to the panel. Special good morning, Mr. Bayo Sweets. The irony that I just had this conversation this week. It has some well put together scammers out there, you know, tourist people.
Oh wow.
But I like
violence.
I was having this conversation with someone close to me, and we were talking about if you would date a mortician, and we both agreed that on some level, yes, you're making your money, you're doing your thing, but you had to have a certain come from a certain kind of ilk to lie down next to somebody who playing up for dead people. And yeah, so that's a no. But I would date a bus driver. I don't have no qualms with that. He make any money.
There is actually a young woman who she is
You know young morticians?
Yeah. She's
Go on.
currently
Making a face and so on?
she started as a mortician with Belgrove's Funeral Home in San Fernando. She did very, very well, was amongst the best.
Right.
Like people would go to Belgrove's and ask for her. She's now, I think, in her final year studying to be a doctor in Cuba.
Oh, you like she changed professions entirely.
But it was very, very clear that she had an affinity in terms of the understanding of the human anatomy. So, hey, see?
Wow. That one there is a little. I don't know how I will receive that information.
Mortician.
If I'm out ever and eyes meet and there's that glaze and that
So what do
smile
you do for a living?
and it gets to the part. So what do you do? I'm a mortician. I don't know how.
I don't even feel they'll tell you a mortician is. They'll tell you they work in a funeral home probably.
Yeah, they might say I work in a funeral home. That's how it might start until you press. So what exactly do you do? Is it a family business? Do you own a funeral home? Do you have any business of? Do you?
Is your last name
Do you
Belgrove?
do you prefab coffins?
Belgrove, Das or Batu? Which one?
Yeah, which one? Actually, none of them. So what do you do? Well, And then they break it down into layman terms because when the two drink hit the head, well, I just really make up the day.
Wow. Wow. Don't knock it.
No, I'm not
Don't
knocking
knock
it at all.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
knocking it at all.
Good morning to the panel
Oh,
special.
no, sorry.
Hi guys. So from my experience, right, me and my wife, we together going on 8 years now. right?
Congrats.
My wife is properly educated, way more than me, right? But she never wanted to work for anybody. She wanted to open her own business, and her parents pushed her to the max to be fully well educated. And now she just want to open her own business. So I said, all right. She don't want to work for nobody, so she is home. And we are in plans of opening our business. We have one already, and we are in plans of opening a second one. And she is happy.
Beautiful.
Her parents aren't at all, but she is happy.
At the
There
end
you
of
go.
the day,
There you go. It's what
there
works
is
for
no
you.
price on your happiness.
It's what works for you. All right, fine. So for me, it is never about the profession for me. It is about certain levels of stability. And when I say different levels of stability, emotional, mental, social, cultural, I mean, I would be very, very grateful to know that you're not living hand to mouth, that you could pay your bills at the end of the month. You know, you might have an off month. I don't expect you to be like the wealthiest person on the planet.
So in the off month, I can take a little 2,000 from you first.
If I have it to give and we at that point in our relationship, you understand? But don't make it a habit.
I just want to know. I just
Don't
want
make
to
it
know.
a habit.
If on the off month, I can...
Because if I have an off month, you know, the UE fees are due.
Hey.
If the UE fees are due, so I'm going back.
You're going back
I'm
there,
going
yeah?
back, yes.
You know we traumatized about them fees.
I don't
You're
care. I'm going
there?
back.
God,
If I have
Abby.
an off month, I would like to know that we are able to lean on each other. You know?
When you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on.
I would like to know that we're able to lean on each other. What I will say is, getting that close in the corner.
Oh yeah, men started singing the chorus and hit them.
You know, I was so happy to see you this morning.
It hit them,
I was
Abby.
so happy to
I
see you
mean,
this morning.
it hit him. You can't vex him.
The
It hit
point
him.
is that I will say I'm much more comfortable now at this age
Hey.
having conversations about money and financial
course, you have
stability
to be.
now.
You have to be.
Now. In your young dotish 20s,
You
you
have to
know, you just
A bail in
Yeah.
this time, and you
But
have to
now-
be. It have people going in wallet.
thank you.
It have to be.
Thank you.
You leave your wallet inside.
Hello.
You go on to pee. brrr, You peeing. And when you come back, you leave 200. They come back
Thank
and get
you.
150. It have
Thank
people
you.
going in wallet. All right.
I am more comfortable now, especially if it is we really, really doing the whole long-term thing. We have to have the conversations about debts and them kind of thing.
it's important.
You know, like if it is every month you having problems, let's have a conversation about why every single month you are skating. Let's have those conversations. But in terms of it being about just
I live in a fig field.
you living in a fig patch, so that's why you skated.
Yeah. You ask me a question, I answer you. If you don't like my answer, I don't know what to tell you. You ask me why I skated, I'm living in a fig patch.
My point is, you understand? You talk about me not being able to be serious.
All right, that's sorry.
My point is, it is never about just unless you're involved in criminal enterprise. It is never just about the profession for me. Because I'm sure there are many people, if they were to ask me, what do I do for a living? I always get uncomfortable when people ask me what I do for a living. Because I was like, what do I say? Where do I start?
Yeah, because you do so
Because
many
do
things.
real thing.
Correct.
So, and when I say things like freelance artist, people always watch me like, oh,
Freelance.
freelance.
I starting to scratch my head.
artist.
I mean, you're looking for 2,000 months.
Exactly. Freelance artists
I
just make
understand
people
this.
uncomfortable.
I know, starting to scratch my head already.
And here how society, and again we go back to them stupid systems that you don't want to talk about. When I say freelance artists, I can see the concern in people's eyes.
Of course.
But then when I follow it up with, yeah, but I'm also a second year PhD student in cultural studies, suddenly there's like, oh, okay.
For somebody like me, the knowledge that I have, means saying, oh, I still concerned.
Because you know better.
I know better.
You know better.
Still concerned. When I hear that, well, I'm in my second, I still not going on.
Right.
I signed to go, good.
But I'm making the point of respectability. All of this comes down to this idea of respectability. You don't want to date a garbage man.
Why?
Hello, the garbage man making real money,
With
because
health
that is
benefits.
with health benefits, because
Health
that is a
benefits.
high risk job.
Half of they can't go by dentist.
You understand?
The
Trust
garbage-
me, he
the
making
garbage
more than
man-
me.
The garbage man could real go by dentist.
Thank
eh?
you.
I've had an appointment with Sharon tomorrow. I had to scratch my head.
Very well.
I might have to
Wait, you're going to the 2 one time?
have to go to 2 one time. That's how it works, honey. That's how it works.
How are you planning to eat for the rest of the
I
day?
am going on the highway with a squeegee and pull windshield. I on the highway with a squeegee.
Wow.
Where you from, my brother?
My point is, respectability will kill us sometimes, eh?
It will.
Respectability will kill us.
And respectability that is built on false illusions, you know.
That's right. Which
That's
is
what
why
it is,
people
you know.
going out here and robbing and thieving.
That's what it is. It's respectability built on things that we don't even. I have learned something in the latter half of my life here where I tell myself, bro, you have to give yourself grace, right? And you have to say things like, it is okay. It's okay not to be part of the Joneses.
No. I
You
guess.
understand? It's okay not to be part of the Joneses. You have to be willing to tell yourself them things.
Good morning, it's Along.
She set that standard so high because she must pick mess before. Right? Sometimes as a man you really build yourself up as a character and all. You do your thing, you get a job, you make your money high, you do everything for yourself now, boy. Sometimes it don't really matter what you do for yourself if a woman just like you for who you is. When the woman like a man for who he is, you don't have to do nothing, partner, nothing. You want to know how he get into like, girl, you even like me? Why you even like me?
No, but you see that thing he said there in terms of she probably pick till she pick
Yeah.
before? Trauma is a thing. I guess she probably tell herself, well, I mean, since the potential for picking rubbish is universal regardless of what he does for a living.
Let me see how long this is before I even.
We talk, and I know that you've said
somebody
that
said
you
it.
cannot teach a man or tell a man how to be a man. So I will not ask you to indict men in this question. But I do want you to speak, Ayanla, to how women need to, position ourselves so that we can be in our divinity, so we can have our crowns right, how we can create and not build, when some of us, quite frankly, feel that the men that are available to us, and I'm talking about across the color spectrum, across the age spectrum, trust me, I've done them all, they are not positioned to protect nor provide because of some of the statistics we just talked about. They're not earning the incomes. They're not having the resources, and some of them are not even showing up in the leadership.
Would you date a bus driver? Would you date
If
a
he
bus
owns
driver?
the bus, if he owns
No.
it, if he owns the bus,
See, that's a problem. That's a problem.
And what people are talking about is facial cues, right? You have to look at it. Her facial cues said it all, and that's something that
Oh, I
that's
can't
why
see it, but
that's
okay.
why I like to speak to people directly, so you get a better understanding. Their facial cues
Body
in
language,
in
body
WhatsApp
language.
as well now,
Body language. Yeah,
depending
body
on tone of caption, emojis or whatever. But her facial cues, you see that T right here? You saw disgust in her face immediately
wow.
when she was asked the question. It was like, what? So that is what the trigger came from there, and you have to understand people have triggers. We need to understand that some people have big ones, some people have small ones, but in the comments it got to that point and it was so fiery this week because people felt offended, both women and men, because she's somebody that reeks of success. You understand? She is from a particular ilk, and when the question was posed to her, just her facial cues alone, the way she was like, no.
Here's my thing. Here's my thing. And now you're all going to be annoyed with me. Sometimes I feel like we having the wrong conversation. Because we can have the conversation about who you're going to be with, how much money they make, and if you own the bus. And you hear her. She frames her response in terms of talking about social and cultural context around black men and the relationships between black men and women and being a provider and not making any money. And we're busy having these conversations and drawing these lines of respectability amongst us. And having this idea of I am just a wee bit better because I've made it, I'm educated, I'm this, that, and the other. When you see that thing I was talking about earlier in terms of empathy and this understanding that if there isn't equality, if we're not actively fighting for equality amongst all of us, that if somebody is a bus driver, they should be able to earn Not just a living, survivable wage, but a wage that allows them to live life in a way that is meaningful. You understand what I mean? Which means that then removes the pressure from conversations about what do you do for a living? What do I do for a living? And that is deeply entrenched in terms of the systems that we don't like talking about because we find it tedious. And yes, thank you, Attila. Attila say that the term she heard in New York for freelance artists is portfolio creative, and I'm using that forever.
Portfolio
I
creative?
am a portfolio creative. You cannot speak to me.
Wow.
I'm a portfolio creative.
Yeah. You see how
I am a portfolio creative, boo.
How words are important?
Hi.
Like a janitorial engineer.
Speaking of janitors, she also sent, this is why I love her, gentle reminder, CLR James worked as a janitor while writing Black Jacobins.
Mm-hmm.
Like having conversations about what we do for a living and things. Because you don't call yourself. Having conversations about what we do for a living is rooted in a lot of nonsense and classist respectability. When the conversation that we should be having is, why is it people across the board from different walks of life with different amounts of educational background cannot all earn a living that is
decent,
commiserate with being able to live a decent life?
Decent standard of living.
You understand? That's the conversation we should be having. We're so busy talking about.
That's when people ask me, what do I do? I say I work NP.
Okay. You work NP.
No place. I start off day one time.
No place.
Immediately,
no,
you know.
Sweetie, you are a portfolio creative. I'm a portfolio creative. I love it.
Early morning, Ojo, well, morning. A goal without a plan is just a dream. I don't mind you driving the bus. I have no issues with you driving the bus. But next year, the year after that, and the year after that, what is your plan? You're still going to drive the same bus? Or you're going to put things in place to maybe buy a bus? Or you're going on, or you're doing this bus thing temporarily as a means to move on to something. Like, if you stagnant and I'm moving, it can't work because I always moving. No disrespect to what you doing. But if you contented in mediocrity and I looking to climb, then we simply can't mesh. Find somebody that contented in mediocrity. I respect your thing, you ought to respect my hustle. It's really simple, so you know, we just don't mesh.
Again, it's about perception.
The hustle thing, boy.
It's about perception. Is it the fact that maybe the peace of mind he gets from driving? It's just some people do it. It's fulfilling for them. Maybe he is fulfilled and it's calming. It's that's everything he needs.
We trapped in this idea of I need to hustle. I need to make more. I need to have more.
Morning, Ojo from the Virgin Islands. Special shout out to Abby. It sounds like you're snatched today. Big up yourself.
Yes.
When topics like this arise, I remember two important words Jaiga once said on this platform.
Brother.
Pulp.
What he said?
Oh yeah, pulp.
Florida pulp.
Florida pulp.
If you...
We'll go and come back. No,
Somebody,
stop calling the phone.
Sonel, honey.
Stop calling the phone.
If you are shopping for Moby,
Sonel.
Stop calling the WhatsApp earlier.
Please.
Thanks.
In Massey stores and she is drinking Florida pulp,
Oh my God, what part of don't call?
know where you're standing. That is not to say don't go for the Florida pulp, girl, you know, just know what you're getting into and know that what you can handle. So, you know, Jaiga, big up yourself for always being a humanitarian for the people. One love, Ojo.
But let me say this, though. We have all fell short, me included. You understand? There were times that I felt as though I was good for the Florida pulp, but I really didn't have Florida pulp for that long. You understand something?
But you tell me the other day, you use Matooks.
I am living, you know, I identify as Matooks.
How do you identify Matooks?
Matooks. I wanted to be
love
clear.
it.
When asked, anybody
Your
asked,
financial identification.
My financial
Matooks.
identification, I identify as Matooks.
Are you Mutts? Are you Matooks? Are you Orch Matooks?
Matooks,
Got it.
right?
Got
I
it.
need people to understand that. And then we could all live in harmony.
Gotcha.
But a lot of people do not understand how they identify.
Are you Blue Waters or Perry?
Exactly. You
Blue
understand?
Waters. Okay.
I am Blue Waters. And actually, I am water. Hey, I just want that to be clear, okay?
Oh my word. I love that. How do you identify? And you're using like brands
Of
as the
course.
identification. I love it.
That's like I saw this
I
meme
love
one,
it, I love
I saw
it,
this
I love
meme
it.
one time where a man said, listen, hi, good day. He went to the bank, I identify as a millionaire. Can I get 2 million?
I love it. I love it. Well, yeah, the thing is, I keep saying, like I get it in terms of wanting to aspire and wanting more. But sometimes we have to be mindful what we're using as the measuring sticks. What we're using as the that goes back to the morning magic this morning. You know, there's no such thing as a real job. All forms of work are real and valid. All.
Yeah.
You are very, very right. I don't know about anywhere else, but in New York City, you see sanitation workers and DOT workers, Department of Transportation, cake, you know. But I'm with you. It's not about the job for me. It's about your financial awareness, more your financial awareness and how you approach money. Because I know from a very, very young age, it's not how much money you make, it's what you do with what you make that makes all the difference.
And the respect that you have for money. Ajay. You see the Ajay. That's what we call it in Yoruba land. Ajay is money.
Oh, they talk to these WhatsApp people. Now. Talk to them now. I don't want to do the show anymore. Could you talk to them, please?
What I tell you?
People now they're starting to send how they identify. Watch how this one identify. Read how he identify.
Identify as Trinidad Killite. Wow!
Listen, I telling you, all you stop, please, guys. Could you all please stop?
I kind of like it though.
Guys, could you all please stop? That's not what the topic is about. Come on. How we identify now? Come on, guys. I'm begging.
No,
could
I
you
love
please
it.
stop?
I love it.
Good morning, breakfast party. Jaiga, Miss Jackson, Roddy and Nikki, wherever you stand. Jaiga, see the difference? Men date down all the time. A man will go into KFC and meet Keisha. He's a millionaire, no? How many times over millionaire, right? Go by KFC to buy some chicken, meet Keisha, him and Keisha talk. They had a nice exchange and he get her number and blah, blah, blah. They fall in love and
they run off
marry
and they
happily
marry
ever
Keisha.
after.
Okay.
Woman ain't doing that. She's a millionaire. She go KFC, Mr. Man, stay in LA,
Sir.
because that's not for you.
Sir, ease my
See the
place.
double standard? So some women have that thing and it's not for everybody.
So he might meet Keisha, but the likelihood of him running off into the sunset with Keisha is very. Let's be honest. It's slim. He might put Keisha in a nice apartment.
This person has a twist on it, and I get it. I know he would have gone there. The race thing came in. They said, do you think they would have asked Kim Kardashian if she did
Hey
something?
you!
And it's fact. Let's not address the elephant
It's
in
true.
the room. It's true. We operate in a space where Caucasian people
Are given a certain grace.
They're given a different type of grace.
But
than
a black woman
than
come
black
on your
women.
show, you actually she go be with a bus driver. Why?
You understand? But
Why?
you wouldn't. But they do charity work because it's a tax write-off for them. Because a Caucasian white lady will adopt 5 children as a write-off, not
Listen
because
to
of love,
me.
because it works on the bottom line.
You see?
It's different. So
You
that's a
see?
whole next conversation there, right, guys? Have we go into that one?
So wait, I's a barber, and if I don't own a barber shop within a year, you gonna leave me? I don't want a barber shop. You know what I wanna do? I wanna open a school and teach people to cut hair. I don't need a barber shop. So what you telling me about? That woman talking a bunch of BS on the radio. Come off your radio this morning, woman.
Oh wow. You
Wow.
sound very upset about
Guy,
it.
take it down.
Okay,
Two tones down.
I don't really see anything wrong with what she said. It's equivalent to men saying that they're not dating a woman with a child, they're not dating a certain race, they're not dating a woman of a particular body type, body count, all those things. Simple as
entirely wrong.
Abby mentioning that she's a freelance artist. A lot of men heard broke there. A lot
They
of men
sure
heard
did.
broke, so they would not venture down that road. So it's
They
the same
sure
thing.
did.
Personally, all I just remember we had to keep things in perspective and it's true that more than likely the whole show. So you want to be crying in a theater or crying in a range just for your struggle.
Wow.
And happy birthday to my father, Edgar
She's
Carter.
not wrong.
Ayana's dad is celebrating his
Happy
birthday today. Happy
Ayana,
birthday, daddy.
She not wrong.
Have a
Here's
good
why
one.
she not wrong. And the thing is,
How do you identify, Abby? That's what I want to know.
how I identify, let me see what brand I could pick. What brand? Something that I really like. I identify as Mott's.
Wow.
I identify as mutts, but not the big mutts.
No, you can't.
This-
You cannot do that. You cannot do that. You cannot do
The
that.
medium-sized
You
mutts.
cannot do that.
The
That's not how it works.
medium-sized mutts.
That's not how it works, Abby. Come on, get it
The
together.
medium-sized mutts.
Get it together. That's not how it works.
Yeah. Identify as mutts.
I think at the end of the day is what works for you. And people who have regular jobs have to keep the balance because not everybody could have this exceptional business owning,
That's right.
self-employed entrepreneurial life. That's not possible.
She's right.
So you have to look for a partner that works for you. If you have a mediocre job and he is willing to support you financially, that man is willing to support you physically, that's fine. Both of us can't just be speeding, climbing the ladder. Like, oh gosh, you had to have a balance, and it all boils down to what works for you. And that's why a lot of people will remain single because nothing is ever enough.
Talking about
One,
remain single.
Single
hold
is
on.
not necessarily a bad thing. That's one. Two, going back to what Ayana said.
Ayana itself is who posed this.
Ayana, even though why I'm saying she's not wrong in terms of this conversation about preference, what I always want us to keep in the review mirror when we're talking about preference is that everybody's preference is rooted in some kind of social politics. Preference don't just drop from the sky. It don't just drop from the sky. I don't like dark girls. I don't like black girls. That's not just about a preference. There's social and cultural politics in there. I don't want no man who walk in wasa. Or maybe I do want a man. Yeah, I was not going to say that. I just was like, oh wait, no. Especially the daily paints.
Wow, them overtime.
Especially the daily paints. Maybe
Them
you
a can't roll,
do.
them
That's
a
why I
some
say.
of them a 6'4".
Maybe you do want a man who can wasa.
A man digging hole and a 6 max in you.
That's what I'm saying, you know.
I looking for an wasa.
Yeah,
I don't looking for if I can leave here, put on a blue jersey and a boots and head out there.
And go and sit down for an hour.
And go and sit down, eat a roti and solo and
By your side.
And then, Harry, boy, deeper. I go in. If you can call me now. Happy, Harry, deeper.
Move to the left little bit and block up traffic for the rest of the day.
I am there.
You're there.
I am there.
The point is, you have to keep the thing about preference. Preference is not something that just operates in isolation. Okay? Right.
People are saying that it's crazy how the measuring stick is about money. How money is the measuring stick.
That's right.
Bro, at the end of the day,
But
who this boy? This real long, bruv.
Play half.
I'll give you a little bit.
Play half.
Good morning, Ojo Will and Trinidad and Tobago. So, you know what's the problem in the generation, our mothers will like marry a rich man. It's all about marrying a rich man rather than marry a man or find an honest man. And fathers did not play the role of making sure men understand that they have to work hard to sustain a family. Now, the world is very busy, the world is very demanding, and families need to come together. So it's never ever on fathers alone, it's never ever on mothers alone anymore, right? However, what needs to be said is you need to find a way to learn a trade, learn an education, gain an education, gain a trade, and at the same time, make sure that you know how to manage yourself within the budget that you know that you can get and to be able to secure yourself and your family, right? At the end of the day, a woman like me who have 5 sons, I don't want a mother-in-law association built up against my tail and all my daughter-in-laws coming to picket fence in front of my house. At the end of the day, is us growing up our children to understand that we are all needed in this world. Different walks of life, different job titles. We need each other in this world. All right? Sometimes love could come in such an unexpected manner, unexpected angle. I know Tina Turner said what loves have to do with it, but at the end of the day, it's all about being honest, being God-fearing, and believing something that yourself, and think our world needs to be a better place, our country needs to be a better place. There's too many stigmatism and too much superficialness around life. Yeah. Anyhow, be blessed. Take care.
Can we get your name, darling? What's your name?
You too.
Parents, what you all need to do is teach your children, guide them wisely. All right. Let them choose for themselves and respect their choices. If things don't work out, they will decide properly.
Oh. Yo.
I'm hearing everything everybody is saying. It's lovely. It's wonderful, and it's like, you know, when people get this close to the point, like you read this close to the point, and then you go around it, because everybody is actually saying the thing that it's interesting, that the measuring stick is money, and that the world is superficial, and like y'all are literally talking about the system without actually naming
because
the
we asked them
system.
not to name it.
Now you gotta start calling it. You gotta start naming things.
We asked them.
You gotta start naming the thing.
For today, let's not name it.
Because of the fact that you're operating in a particular space that has conditioned us to see things a certain way, that is the reason why the conversation is framed this way.
I'm sorry, Abby. I'm sorry. People only sending all this stuff it now.
How they identify?
As Viva Water flavor.
I love it. How do you identify? I am a Viva Water.
I'm a Viva flavored water, okay?
I used to really drink that long time.
Yeah, let me put in my 2 cents. See what's going on. You see all of these books that we read, The Princess and the Frog and Marida this and Marida that, all of them mess up people. So everybody live
all
their
of them
life
saying
looking
it
for that fantasy because, well, that's what you learn and that continue to be a behavior. So yeah.
Y'all are all saying it.
Speaking about that, let me play Ayana's big post on a Friday.
Wow.
You understand? And this is what she's sharing with her friends on a Friday.
Always remember, Cinderella removed one shoe and found love. And half of y'all removed all of your clothes and you are still single. Have a great day today.
So you have descended into insanity.
I hate you, man. You see this place? I don't like this place, but I'm not coming back here again. Today, that's it, guys. As of today, as of midnight.
As of midnight tonight, you're not coming back.
As of midnight, I am
back.
not returning.
Okay.
I'm fed up all year, boy. I'm fed up. Oh my God, hey.
Hi, good morning, breakfast family, right?
Mornings.
Listening to the topic this morning, I just like to say something. I have what I have, you have what you have. If you have more money than me in the relationship, once I genuinely happy, I cool, no, but if you're with somebody, 1 year, 2 years, the step still wouldn't, and 10 years again, the step still wouldn't, that's not the place for you. I mean, everybody won't elevate, you know, but trust me, I was always happy before you even reach.
Who was saying it? Was it Ayana? No, it was the voice note before Ayana where she was saying, our mothers told us to find the rich man. But there was again, that came from a time when women didn't have as much access to things as we have now. So we needed very well. So the dream was to find a man who
the
had
best of the best.
The best of the best and the best of the best. Despite the fact that he was probably getting horn, that he used to want to hit you 2-3 hurry hand, at least he was financially stable. Better fit if he wealthy.
And he did not describe bathroom because
right,
he used to pay
exactly.
somebody to scrub bathroom.
Right.
You know how did this get like unscrub bathroom?
Thank you. Thank you. Which is why that was the way they language certain things. It wasn't just about they tell you get a rich man because they wanted you to have glittery jewelry and fancy thing. It really was about them having experienced a certain lifestyle and literally fighting for survival, and they didn't want their daughters to go through that.
I traumatized bathroom scrubbing now. She make me scrub some bathroom already, but until my knees still hurting from scrubbing bathroom.
Your knees still hurting from scrubbing bathroom?
I inhaled Clorox until I went to dead. You know?
Yeah, because
I tell you, come and say, you can
listen to me. If the Clorox is not trying to kill you in the bathroom is not clean.
Listen to me.
You have to want it dead.
I palpitating for breath and my mother cares nothing. You better scrub that bathroom.
I bet your bathroom does be real clean now though.
I can't breathe. I traumatized with bathroom, brother. That one thing I really don't like, but anything else, but see bathroom cleaning, oh God. My mother and grandmother beat me in broom into the bathroom. Go on, scrub it.
Yes.
Because they just pour Clorox and send you inside and close the door.
Yes, because you have to leave it to
and them days
kusu.
is a jiff and a scrubbing brush.
That's
Brad and close
right.
the door. And inside it.
And you have to mix the disinfect.
Bro, you can't breathe.
That's right.
And jam on them lazy bathroom with Clorox.
That's right.
You're trying to kill me. Oh.
You want to see all the soaps come raise up.
I get. On a side note, girls. On a side note, girls, my mother told her daughters, look for a chopping man.
So you can have access to his things.
What is even that though?
I get it.
Real people sending message with the Clorox. You see?
Yeah.
Real men went through that, boy. I telling you, boy. I telling you. Yes, boy.
If the whole house is not smelling like Clorox after
Emotional
you clean
damage.
it, the bathroom is not clean.
Well, if I tell you something, the reason why I never really push those kind of books and stuff, he making a lot of sense to my daughter is because I did not want her to feel as though she need a rich man to come and swoop her off her feet. And that's who her spouse has to be. Hey,
Beautiful.
he make real sense.
Beautiful. Well, you're talking the things, you know. You all are talking the things. It's all there.
Taryn, I'm confused. Wait a minute, I don't know what a shipping man is or what he looks like. I'll be just giving my mirror now, please.
Wait! Wow! Wow!
Ayana.
Now with that we gotta go.
Every day you stray further,
With
and further
that,
from the light.
with
you
that
know.
we have to go.
Every day.
And many
You
sons
stray
had
further and
Father
further from the
Abraham, and I am one of them, and so are you. So let's.
Anyway, before we go, you see, money, well, your money is an energy, eh? For those of us, people listening, whether you believe it or not, money is an energy. You see the fact that money exchanges hands, money is an energy. How you treat money is the way money will treat you. This is separate and apart from needing to deconstruct all the systems and all them things that, yes, we have
Put
to do.
all your birds on one
all
side.
all them things, yes, we have to do. But in terms of the money that you do have, you see, Ajay, money have an energy. So the way you treat money is the way money will treat you.